Hi there, I'm Susan for SusanWinter.net. Thank you for joining me. Today I have more questions and answers, and I love this one because this is all about modern dating. This one today is from Charles Belfort, questioning what's up with the "it's just about sex." Okay, it's a good one. Charles writes, "Hi Susan, could you please do a video on the logic behind it's just sex and doesn't mean anything? While the person is holding back with someone they date and like in all sorts of ways? In other words, whatever has the potential of turning into something meaningful and romantic is put on hold, while casual sex here and there is fine. Why does this happen?" Charles, this is awesome. Thank you. Well, there's only one reason why that would happen. The person who's doing that is trying not to get hurt. So there is a myth nowadays, and it's rampant, okay? There is a belief that if we have sex, that we are completely able to disconnect our emotions and have it be a thing in and of itself with no connection to the rest of our body and our heart. No, we have tried to isolate this as an activity. And those of you who are looking at YouTube for advice, you might have noticed that what's happening is you have an emotional discomfort, or you wouldn't be seeking out this information. And maybe you even tried to play it safe. Maybe you tried to date, use the portal of entry that everybody uses nowadays, which is sex first, thought you'd be okay. You thought that you could handle it, right? Okay, good. I can handle this. I'm being an adult. Yeah, I know this story. It's just sex. And then you suddenly got activated. You started to feel an attachment. You liked this person. Here's the story. This is why it's such a myth. That's normal. That's what happens when you do the most intimate act you can with another person. You start to gravitate toward them. But what we're trying to do in this time period, because we do the sex first and then figure out what's happening later, we are trying to disconnect those emotions from the sexual act. And yet we're surprised that they bit us. We didn't expect it. And ladies, by the way, this happens to men too. Please don't think that men don't feel, because they do. And I really think that this is the crux of the problem nowadays. First of all, we have to be quite realistic. If you enter the terrain of romance, there is going to be emotional pain. It is part and parcel. I wish I could tell you it's always going to be happy. It's not. In your experience of a person, there will be moments of miscommunication. There will be moments where you don't connect. You can hurt each other's feelings on purpose or not meaning to. One move for you to protect yourself and pull back can be the very thing that triggers a reaction from them. So let's get on board with what the real truth is. It is not within most people's disposition to have a completely, uniquely separate experience without the integration of the rest of them. It is an unhealthy thing. We are integrated as human beings, and if you're going to be there, you're going to at least like the person that you're with sexually. So this thing that is happening, Charles, is the person's desire to protect themselves from getting hurt. It's futile, but we try it anyway. And you want to know what's funny? Here's the boomerang effect with that. In an effort to close down our emotions so that we don't get hurt, we will more times than not get kicked off that ride, and the person will not be so interested in us. And maybe they can't even put their finger on it. It has nothing to do with how attractive you are or how dynamic you are with your personality or what you do. It has to do with you didn't show up. And you didn't show up because you wanted to protect yourself. And what happened is you ended up getting hurt because you didn't show up. So, think of it this way. If we admit to ourselves that we're more connected to ourselves than we know or than we'd like to be, and we also admit as adults that part of romance means there can be times of hurt, we should just get on the ride and show up. And that way, at least we have a chance of moving forward But this back and forth, trying to protect ourselves, being there and not being there, is counterproductive. The person you're playing with that's experiencing this is going to be less and less attracted to you every day because it's too confusing. Charles, this is a great question. Thank you so much. And thank you all of my viewers that you found the button. Okay, so if you want to request a video, I put a button on the contact page of the website, and I didn't even mention it, and a lot of you have found it. There's a green button that says Q&A video requests. Just write me what you'd like to hear, and I thank you for that. And if you've subscribed, thank you so much. I really appreciate that you are taking me into your home and that you value what I have to say. So keep telling me what you want to hear, and I'm so happy to be of service in that way. And if you need a hand to guide you, please call me. Just go through the forms on the website, and I'd love to work with you as a client. It's been really incredible to meet people that have been listening for a year, 2 years, somebody that just found me, and that I can work with you and I can actually hear the stories. And guess what? We have the same language. You've heard the videos. So, I mean, it's a great experience. They're like, oh, yeah. And then he was like doing a slow fade and the blah, blah, blah. And it's like, wow, this is great. It's so easy. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day. And thank you for letting me into your home. Bye-bye.